The story about Grandpa and the basket. Let's begin.
Rabab's grandpa lived in a small cottage at the top of the hill. Below the hill, there was a beautiful lake. Rabab loved going to visit her grandpa because she would sit on the lap and tell her interesting stories. One day, Grandpa was telling Rabab about the Quran and why she should memorize it.
What does memorizing the Quran mean? Asked Rabab.
It means to learn to read it all by heart.
When Rabab said to her grandpa, "But grandpa, every time I try to memorize the Quran, it all comes out and I forget. What is the use of memorizing the Quran when I keep forgetting?" Grandpa decided to show Rabab why it was still important to try and memorize the Quran. So Grandpa went to his fireplace and brought out a small dirty basket where he usually kept the coal and wood for the fireplace. When Grandpa gave the dirty basket to Rabab and said, "Dear Rabab, can you please run down the hill to the lake and fetch me some water in this basket?"
Rabab was very happy. She loved running up and down the hill and she wanted to help her grandpa. So off she went down the hill.
Rabab quickly filled the basket with water and began running up the hill. As she walked up the hill, she saw the water slowly dripping out of the basket. Drip, drip. The water came out from the bottom of the basket. When Rabab got to the top of the hill, the basket was empty. So she ran down again and tried once more. This time Rabab walked fast up the hill. But by the time she got to the top of the hill, all the water had still flowed out. So Rabab tried the third time. This time she ran up the hill, and when she got there, there was just a bit left. She rushed to the door of her grandpa's cottage and knocked on it furiously. "Coming!" shouted Grandpa, and by the time he opened the door, Rabab was standing with an empty basket. "Oh, it is no use, Grandpa," said Rabab. "Why? What happened?" asked Grandpa with a smile.
Well, said Rubab with a huff, every time I fill the basket with water, all the water comes out from the bottom. That's okay, said Grandpa. But look at the basket now, Rabab. Do you see any difference? Rabab?
Rabab looked inside the basket. It was was very surprised. The basket had not been very dirty before, full of soot and chips of wood and coal. And now it was clean and shiny again. "You see," said Grandpa, as he hugged little Rabab, "you think it was no use trying to keep the water in the basket, but even by trying, the basket has become so clean inside. In the same way, if you try to learn the Quran by heart, even if some of it comes out and you forget, your heart will become so clean inside."
This made a lot of sense to Rubab, and from that day onwards, she tried to remember as many surahs of the Quran as she could. Rabab prayed to Allah every night to help her memorize the whole Quran one day, insha'Allah.
The end. Don't forget to subscribe.